Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview of an upcoming game called Valheim, a 1 to 4 player adventure game. And as always, we take no compensation for our coverage. We just want to help you make an informed decision. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and come say hi on our Discord. So like I said, Valheim is a 1 to 4 player one-off game, although you can kind of combine scenarios into a campaign. I'm going to be playing the second scenario, so this is definitely on the easier side. And as always with these previews, I want to emphasize this is a prototype. Probably the final version will have different rules and different components. Yeah, I'm going to be controlling two characters. I've got this male sort of bow guy here, and then this female sword fighter. And the scenario determines the map. Sorry, I had to print this out in black and white. So different scenarios will have different maps. Sometimes they're even divided up by water, and you have to build a boat to move around. And the scenario also tells you what boss you're fighting, which event deck you're using, and what kind of like your main objectives are. In this one, I know that somewhere in this dark forest, the black forest, these tiles here on the left, hidden among them are two tiles that'll have gray dwarf nests, and if I can go in there with a weapon that is on fire, then I can burn those nests, and once I've burned both of them, I can find the altar to the Elder, this kind of like giant ent-like tree monster, and I can summon him and fight him in the final battle. And in all the scenarios I've seen, you have to defeat the boss to win, so that's what I'm trying to do here. But I start out on this house tile, and I can go explore these easier tiles first, because this is kind of a crafting game. I'm going to be getting resources to craft items in my house, to add little furniture things there. This will give us bonuses. We can also like cook food and rest there. And with enough crafting and preparation, hopefully I'll be ready to fight the boss. Each player turn is going to involve us taking 3 actions, and then we're going to flip the topmost card of the event deck. This is the timer for the game. If you run out of cards and go to the end of another turn without fighting the boss, then you lose. Although this deck is actually bigger than it seems, because some of these cards will start sort of a mini event ongoing that will take several turns to resolve before you start drawing cards again. And here are the character boards. I slotted in this little animal head here to show which player color I'm assigning to each. Although this guy's wearing blue, my other character is wearing yellow, so he seemed to kind of be indicating a preferred color anyway. You also get a small skill, which has a single little spot there and goes here. A larger, more tough skill, and this little tile here called Power of Odin. You can pick these or do them randomly. This time I did kind of pick after I played a few games random, and I made this guy with the bow be very focused on gathering resources. So I gave him both green skills that are about resources. And how it works is the thing on the top here tells you what you have to do to get 1 cube placed down here. And once you get 1 or 3 cubes by fulfilling the sort of like little side quest, then you get an ongoing bonus. In his case, if he can gather a ton of resources in 1 turn, then he'll be able to cook for free once per round. And if he gets lucky rolling critical results on his gather dice when he's getting resources, then he'll get a free resource whenever he gathers resources, which should make it easier for him to get hoarding. So he's a hoarder-gatherer, kind of like a hunter-gatherer, except more hoardish. As for my lady, I went for full-on attack with her. She's got brutal. If she does 5 or more damage in a single attack, then for the rest of the game, she'll turn critical hits on her weapons into also giving her a stamina bonus. This is health and stamina, by the way. And with Sword Fighter, if she uses a sword to kill monsters 3 times, then for the rest of the game, she'll get +1 damage each time she attacks with swords. Pretty dang good. We got to get her a sword ASAP. And then finally this one, I didn't show the other guys. His is I can spend 3 stamina to heal 2. Hers is I can spend 3 stamina to double the results of a combat die, do some extra damage to somebody. Well, the game's pretty straightforward, and there's a bunch of actions, so let's just jump in and show you how things work. Oh, and they don't have a first player token for the game right now, or like an active player, so I'm just going to use, this is actually the gravestone for the blue player if he's defeated. Hopefully he never will be, since this is an easier scenario. We're not playing on the hardest difficulty setting, and we'll just put it there. All right, so one action you can take is to move. When you move, you can move up to 2 spaces, and that includes moving into face-down tiles and revealing them. And that means we flip it up, although we're still going to move him in a second. And you'll see that most tiles are divided into multiple spaces. The house is 1 space unto itself, but this one is 3 spaces in this case. So he can move into here or to here for his first of 2 moves. This space doesn't have anything going on. This one is a gathering point for hides. So if he goes there, he can use actions to gather hides there. And this is a gathering point for stone, but it's also got a monster icon. which corresponds to one of the monster cards, in this case the weakest monster in the game, the Greyling. This number up here is how many black dice they roll and any special powers they have when they roll their dice. This is the loot you get for defeating them, 1 resin, or resin, I always forget how to say that word, and this is the amount of damage you need to deal to defeat them. So pretty dang weak. And here they go, they pop in here. All right, so he's got 2 movement. Again, each move action, and that's one of my 3 actions. Lets me move up to 2. So I could explore another place. But hey, let's get some hides. Oh, I forgot one thing, actually. I get to start with, from a list of early resources, some different things on the top of the event deck, which just means at the end of each character's turn, if these things are still there, they're going to take one of them of their choice. So we're going to kind of get like 2 free turns. In a 3-player game, there'd be 3 resources. In a 4-player game, there'd be 4. So you get several free turns before events start resolving. And now for my second action, I'm going to gather resources. So I roll the green die indicated, and there are 4 results with a single hand. If I roll that, I will get a single hide. If I roll the critical result, then I'll get 2 hides, but the exclamation point means nearby monsters are going to try to come and fight me, which means that Greyling will probably attack me. But hey, that's okay with me. I just want to get some resources. So second action, let's see what we get. Oh, hey, there we go. So let's resolve this. We get 2 hides. And at normal difficulty, they go straight into a shared area, kind of in the house, and any character can use those to craft with. But on hard difficulty, they would be held by your character, and you couldn't drop them off until you actually went to the house, which is certainly more thematically appropriate. But now I have to resolve this crit, which means every creature adjacent to me moves into my space. And in this game, you never use an action to attack, well, unless you're doing a range attack. But generally speaking, you don't use actions to attack. Instead, when you coexist in a space with enemies, you have to fight and keep fighting round after round until one of you is gone. So I'll fight that Greyling in a second. But let's not forget that I rolled a critical while getting resources, so I'm 1/3 of the way to getting a free resource every time I gather. Nice. All right, so how does combat work? I pick up the number of dice indicated by the enemy, 1 black in this case. And then based on my character's equipment, I get to take yellow and red combat dice and blue dice from defensive equipment. But guess what? I have none of that. So when you are unarmed, you still use a single yellow die, but one of the 4 sides, 2 of them are misses. One of the 4 sides has a critical double hit side. When you're unarmed, that's only a single hit. So it's not that big of a negative against weak enemies to not have a real weapon, but it could be a little bit bad. So I'm going to roll both of these at the same time. The hits deal damage. Remember, this guy only has 1 life, so he'll be killed by anything. This is damage to me, taking down my health. And there's also an exclamation point. For most monsters, that activates a special ability. Greylings are so weak, it's just a miss for them. So they only hit 3 out of 6 faces. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, and you keep on fighting rounds of combat. Oh, I should say, because I almost forgot about this, any characters that are within 2 spaces of a combat when a combat starts can spend a single stamina to basically get a free move action to join the combat in the space. And then they take turns rolling the dice. The enemy attacks each of them in turn, but it's a nice way to kind of divide up stuff. I don't think my guy needs that kind of help this time, but he can probably handle it. All right, and okay, there we go. So we, remember, because it's unarmed combat, that lowers down to 1 damage. Still sufficient, but we take 1 damage, which ticks our health down 1. The main way to heal is to go to the house, cook some food, and then eat it. We're not going to worry about that for 1 damage, of course. All right, and this Greyling is defeated, but this icon on the board will often be referred to by events that'll respawn people, so he'll probably be back eventually, and we get their 1 resin or resin for defeating him. All right, we already got 2 pelts, which is probably enough for the starter stuff we might want to build. So why don't I have him go here, and he'll get some stone next turn. Okay, once you've taken 3 actions, you then resolve an event, and it's the next character's turn. So pretty quick turns overall. I'm going to have him take the wood from on top of the boss and put it in the shared pool, and we'll get back to his turn in a second. And that finishes out his turn, and now it's Sword Lady's turn. So she's got 3 actions as well. Now she could use an action to craft in here. You always have the full set of items to craft. These are weapons and armor. The resource cost is indicated down here. So I've got 1 wood. I could build a crude bow or a club or a big spoon or a hammer. Some of them have other bonuses. Like the hammer gives you, I think, a free crafting action. The flint axe lets you gather wood more quickly. The flint knife lets you gather pelts more quickly, hides, and some of them are range attacks. Range attacks just means you can spend an action to start the combat when you're within 1 of the person, but then they immediately move to your space for free, and you start having regular rounds of combat after that. This one lets me get minerals faster, but it requires bronze, which I don't have yet. By the way, where are spears? I forgot how expensive. Oh my gosh, the cheapest spear is a swords, because that's what she wants. The cheapest sword is a bronze sword. And that's coming from bronze, which is generally only in the Black Forest. All right, maybe she'll take her chances for her first action and go up here. Okay, this one is not too bad. That's the altar where we'll summon the boss. For right now, it's just kind of a nothing space. That, though, is not one of those friendly greylings. That's a gray dwarf, which are the ones whose nest we're going to be hunting later. When you defeat them, you get a free stone and wood. Pretty dang good. They still only roll 1 die, but they do hit on the exclamation point, so their damage output isn't that bad. But they have 3 life, and with her being unarmed, that's going to take a bit. All right, so I really want to get 2 bronze and get my sword game going early. Let's try for that. So for her second action, she's going to go... Oh, hey, well, we're getting into battle, but we got both the bronze we need for the sword. But yeah, we got to face this gray dwarf. Lovely. All right, here we go. First round. So that's 1 hit for them, and unfortunately only 1 hit for us because they turn exclamation points into hits. So here, I'll just kind of track it over here. She takes 1 damage. Let's go again. He's got 1. Ah, crud. She takes another damage, and we don't get any. And you know what? Let's... she's taken 1. Let's use her 3 to double the results of a die. I think you can do that even if you're unarmed. They just said, like, the regular crit side can't count as 2 hits. So that'll give me the last 2 hits and finish him off, because she's going to go back and get a sword in a second anyway, so no need to fight this tough battle. So he is gone. We get a stone and a wood for our trouble. Heck yeah. So we got a little bit of everything. Although, you know what? While she's here, she might as well gather some more bronze. Nothing else is going to jump on her. All right, so third action. Whoa, we are getting a lot of crits. I wish it was the other guy since he could benefit from it. All right, so that gets us to 4 bronze. Seems like enough. And instead of an event card, we're getting our last free resource. So now we're going to start actually drawing event cards. They are, by the way, tiered. So the basic ones have nothing in the corner. And then the level 2 ones, you see how it has like sort of a lighter thing. So those are the tougher events. We have to get through the basic ones before we get to those. All right, now getting back to our gather boy over here. Yeah, let's get some stone before he leaves. I mean, I might want to go back to the house and craft something, but hopefully we won't get attacked. So first action, remember, if he can get 5 resources in a turn or does some crits, he'll be able to level up. So first, it's just a single stone. Second, oh, there's a crit. Now, if there were enemies within 1, they would move. If there are no enemies within 1, but there are enemies within 2 spaces, they move 1 towards you each. And then if there's nobody, nothing happens, unless very specifically you're chopping down trees, which we aren't. We're gathering stone. Because then if you roll a crit and no enemies are nearby, then the tree falls on you, you get immediately defeated. So you don't want to chop down wood when nobody's around. All right, now that is 3. Should I go for the 1/3 chance of getting 5 right now, which would level up both of my skills? I don't really need that much wood, but hey, it's kind of a cool idea. What the hey? Third action. Nope. Okay. Too bad. But yeah, we do have a crud ton of stuff. We'll definitely need more pelts eventually. We'll definitely need more wood. Rosin you can't mine. You pretty much have to kill monsters for that, but we're doing great on stone and bronze for sure. And hey, let's draw our first real event. Skeleton with a potion. You spot an undead soul guarding that's a mead. So there's 3 different types of potions. One's to recover stamina, one's to recover health, and then this one will cure you of some different negative conditions. Although in this scenario, they don't really come up at all, this early one. Yeah, it says place a skeleton and a potion of your choice on any vacant space. Anybody defeating the skeleton can take the potion. Oof, any vacant space. I don't really love that. I don't know. Here, skeleton. Hang out over here. No, not on the pelts. Hang out over there. And we'll give him a healing potion, I guess. All right, so that was a fairly benign event. Let's get back to her. Should I gather 1 more thing of bronze? It's so good. Although really only for equipment. Well, actually, no, here we go. So, by the way, this is the furniture stuff you can build. So the cost is on the left, what it looks like, and what it gives you. So double bronze would let me get better use out of the healing items, the food we can cook. And pretty soon, when we can get our gatherer guy leveled up, we're going to get a free cooking action sometimes. So that'd be pretty good. Yeah, just to go through these actually really quickly. So for a hide and a wood, I can build a bed that will let us heal 1 life every time we end our turn in the house. That's actually all 3 of these, how they work. 2 hides will let us build the rug to get stamina back every time we end in the house. And 2 stone and a hide will get us a throne that'll give us a reroll token to reroll our own combat dice every time we end in the house. 2 wood and 2 stone get us the table that lets us cook 2 food with a single cooking action. Just to show how that works, you take these food cards and you flip them over. You normally get the top effect if you then take an eating action to eat them. But if we build the little fire bonus here, then we can use the bottom improved version instead. Okay, then this one we need to build to win the scenario. 2 rosin and 2 wood will get us this fire table. And then for an action, once we build that, we can put fire on our weapons. It'll deal +1 damage in combat for the rest of the game, unless we replace the weapon. But also we need that to hunt down those little like dwarfy nests that we're looking for. This one lets us craft bombs. Although we need, iron, which is only on like mountain spaces for regular finding, so we might not even get any of that in the game. This one lets us make potions with bronze and wood. That's pretty easy. And then this one lets us build a boat. Not needed in this scenario because, as you can see, there's nowhere to boat to. Well, I guess that's not entirely true because I think for an action you can like move on to the boat and then go somewhere else. We could like fast track with a boat around to the other side of the island. But yeah, mainly it's for crossing bodies of water. So long story short, what the hey? Let's get a little more bronze before she leaves. Oh my friggin' god. She is queen of bronze. I wish she was the other guy because then she would have already leveled up. All right, so this guy is not within, he's 3 spaces away, so he won't move with that result. Okay, for her second action, she's going to go back to the house. And for her third action, let's craft that sword for her to start leveling up. Where was it? So we've got the bronze sword for 2 bronze and a hide. We've got that. That'll let us roll 2 red dice, which is crazy. We don't have 2 iron for the iron sword. Silver sword needs silver, which I haven't even seen in these early scenarios. It also takes 2 hands, but looks, it makes you roll every die in the game. So yeah, bronze sword seems to be like the only one we can probably really get. So for one action, you can craft an equipment or a furniture. And she has to spend the indicated resources, although, again, we still got a ton of stuff. And cool, now in combat, she can roll the bronze sword. The red die has the exact same number of double hits, just 1 crit side, but it's missing 1 miss side. So you hit with 5 out of 6 faces instead of 4 out of 6 faces, and she's now going to be attacking with 2 reds. We can also get some defensive items if she wants to build more stuff later. All right, let's see what her event is. The Elder oh my gosh. Usually I get this one pretty late, but this is very early. The Elder arrives, ready to unleash his minions on your house. Place the Elder on a tile adjacent to the house. For the next 3 turns, we do not draw event cards. Instead, place a Grey Dwarf or a skeleton if there are no Grey Dwarfs on the tile. As soon as there are 3 monsters on the tile, the Elder sends them into the house. So we get to pick, I don't know, let's put him over here. And this tile is now inaccessible. This is what he's going to look like when we're fighting him as a boss. We can't like move in there. We can't even use range attacks to attack anybody. So on our next 3 turns after him and then her and then him go, each time we're going to put a Grey Dwarf in there. And then when all 3 of them are there, they'll all come into the house. If we don't defend it, bad things happen. They rob us and do other bad things and break our furniture. If we are in there, we have a big combat against them, which is actually wonderful because I think with her having her super sword, she's just going to cut through them like butter. I just want to get her some defense to help out with that. But yeah, all right. So let's, do I want to send him back to get that weapon too? Oh, this one's pretty dang good. Look, a bronze axe. Give him a red and a yellow. It does use up 2 hands, but it would also let him get wood really quickly. I kind of like that. Ooh, and that would mean he's getting more resources, which means even if I didn't roll crits, I can get that hoarding pretty easily. I like it. So yeah, he's going to go back for 1, construct the bronze axe for 2. That does empty out most of our bronze and our wood, but that should be okay. And then for 3, I think I want to go hunting for wood. Let's check here first. So this is 1 out of 2 moves. And, oh, whoops, he's going into combat. Ooh, but with a treasure chest. Okay, so that's 2 of those little weak guys. They should fall pretty easily to the axe. The question is how much damage will they do in the process? We'll take a little random treasure chest. It's a free action to open it up, but only when there are no enemies left. Okay, and there is wood, so at least that part worked out. But because his first move got into an enemy space, he loses the rest of his moves. So this is going to be the end of his turn. So the Greylings are rolling 1 die. They only have 1 life. They give you rosin. And here's how it works when you fight a bunch of people. Only one of them is rolling their dice against you, and that's kind of like the main person you're fighting against. But you can divide your dice results amongst the enemies. So if I hit with like my red and yellow die in my axe, I'll kill them both all at once. But if you are outnumbered, where the number of enemies is more than you, then you take 1 automatic damage as long as you roll at least 1 damage. And that's the case for like all the bonuses. Like her little sword fighter thing here, or the fire giving us extra damage. You only get bonuses to your attacks, enemies, and heroes if you got at least 1 hit. All right, so rolling for the bronze axe. Rolling 1 die for one of the guys. Oh, crud. Well, that's kind of sucked. We did kill them both, but we are also taking 2 damage. We harvest 2 more of these from their corpses, which is good because we need 2 of those to build that fire table, and then an action and 1 more of them to actually light your weapon on fire. So we should now have enough to get our axe and our sword burning brightly. Oh, and can't forget, we get to open this for free. What's in here? Oh, just a bronze and a coin. Not too impressive. So coins are interesting. 1 coin by itself doesn't really do anything, but if you get 3 coins, then in the Black Forest, you can find this merchant guy. And then for 3 coins, he lets you draw 3 cards that are like super powerful, and you can buy one of them. Okay, so that's what 3 coins does. But honestly, you're mainly going to get your sets of 3 coins from fighting large monsters. There's a troll hiding somewhere in the forest. So the 1 coin here is really not doing much for me. All right, but that was the end of his turn. And all we're doing is putting another Gray Dwarf, or the first Gray Dwarf with that guy. So they're going to attack at the end of his turn. But honestly, I kind of want her to be by herself and murder all the dwarves by herself, because then she'll level up her sword skill, which is great. All right, now for Sword Girl, I kind of want her to stay in the house, right? Because she needs to defend, because the people are going to attack after the bow guy's next turn, which means she won't get to go. So let's have her build some stuff, or maybe heal up. Because her stamina and her health are both pretty bad right now. And I don't have 2 wood to build the table, but I will after I fight all the guys. So let's build the thing that lets us make food taste better with 2 bronze. Then for my second action, I'll cook, get some honey, roasted nuts, and fruit. Then for my third action, I will eat it, which will get her back 1 life and 4 stamina. Now she's decently close to the top. It's pretty good. And that gets number 2 over there. And now I want to get me some wood with my axe. So let's go here for 1. Those guys will not leave the space no matter what. So even if he gets the critical result, nobody's going to come at him. Well, that's right, though. That means that if he gets a critical result, he might die. Oh, but I should have said, you don't automatically die if you roll a critical with wood when nobody's nearby. You have to roll the black die, and you only have a 1/6 chance of actually dying. So it's a lot safer than I made it sound. Okay, so second action. Boom. That's 2 wood with the axe. And third action. Hey, there we go. That is, actually, yeah, we got both of them here. I'll show you in a second. That's 3 wood. I do have to roll to see if I die in a second, but let's do this first. But yeah, that was 5 resources in 1 turn, so I get a free cook action once per round if I'm in the house. And that was also a 3rd critical. So now whenever I gather anything, I get 1 more resource. We're going to be resource crazy over here, I think. But let's see if a tree falls on me and murders me. Nope, we're okay. Yay. And roar, these guys go. He runs away, and the event is done, so we're going to actually start drawing event cards in a second. But let's have the big battle between Yellow and the Gray Dwarves. All right, so she can do 5 damage in 1 go, which is impossible at the moment. Then she gets that. But each time she uses a sword to defeat somebody, so she should actually level up this skill by the end of this battle. She doesn't die. All right, so here we go. First roll. Oh, that was great, because I was going to say they had me outnumbered, which means they were going to deal an extra damage each time they hit me. All right, so here, let's bring them all over. All right, so boop, and we got 2 damage on one of them. Still outnumbered as we fight number 2. Okay, that is a damage, which means I take 2 damage. But I get to kill this one and start hurting the next one by splitting the dice up. And that gets me my first sword fighter. All right. This is getting a little deadly. Oh, that was amazing. Okay, so we finish off this guy. And now we're not outnumbered anymore. So oh, that's right. That's another one of these. We're not outnumbered anymore. Ooh, God, that's a lot. I'm going to die here, aren't I? Oh, here, I can spend 3 stamina to double the results of one of those and finish off the last guy before I kick the bucket. Yay. And that gets us this. So now we're going to do +1 damage with our sword each time we attack again, as long as we hit at least once. And then if we can also light it on fire soon, that should make Brutal pretty doable. In retrospect, it probably would have been smarter for her to build some armor, but I didn't do that. And I feel dumb. I was supposed to get 3 stone and 3 wood, but guess what? I actually was just about at the max anyway, so I got 1 wood and 2 stone. That was a waste. All right, that brings me right back to Yellow's turn for her first action. Let's go ahead and build that table with some of that wood and stone. So now with a single action, I can cook 2 food, and then I can eat them both as well. So second action, because she's so messed up, let's get this. Woo, this is good. And then third action, she'll eat them both. So that is 7 healing and 3 stamina. Nice. That's got to be, yeah, that is all the way back up to the top. Yay! And we're back to events. What do we got? Wrath of the Elder. Ooh, if you currently have any wood in your inventory, which we do, place a skeleton at your space as it ambushes you. This was still Yellow's turn, so there we go. And skeletons have only 2 life, but look, they roll 2 black dice, and their exclamation point blocks 1 damage coming from you, so kind of nasty. Yeah, definitely should invest in some armor. Whoops, dropped one of their dice. Whoa, okay, so we're taking 3 damage, but we definitely killed the heck out of them, especially with our +1. Ooh, actually, we got to 4 damage there. We almost leveled up Brutal. All right, that was Yellow. Now it's Blue's turn again. I'm going to get some good armor. Well, I got 1 bronze left. Maybe they should head up there. I could get a bronze buckler, which lets you roll 1 defensive blue die and adds a defense as long as you roll at least 1. I've already got enough for that. Bronze helmet. None of them have two-handed weapons, by the way, so they can use a shield. Yeah, so I need more bronze and maybe more hides. Should I go around there? Or should I just go through here? What the hey. So we'll go first move. And, if we end our move here, we heal 1. So let's do that. We get one of these little guys there. And then, I guess second move, go over here to the pelts. And then third move, they'll go in and gather. And with their new skill unlock, that gets us 2 of these. Yay. With a bit more bronze as well, we should be able to kind of craft ourselves into awesomeness and be very safe. All right, well, what's their event? Oh, it's quiet for now. Those are only in the tier 1 deck part, so we're not going to see too many of those. And as for yellow, you know what? Let's do the fire table thing. Going to spend 2 resin and 2 wood. And then for a second action, she'll go ahead and spend another resin to light her weapon. So now whenever she attacks with her sword, as long as she hits with at least 1 die, she'll get +2 damage, making this brutal a lot more likely to happen. With that, should she make some armor for her last action? Sure. By the way, we're spending all these turns in the house. It would have been nice if I had built some of the furniture that gave us free healing from that. But for now, I'm going to have her take the 1 bronze we've got and 1 of our woods. We're actually getting low again. And build the bronze buckler. So she's going to roll 1 blue die, which defends on 4 out of 6 sides and has a single critical side. And if she rolls at least 1 defense, she gets an extra 1 for free. That was it, right? Yeah, because she built the table, lit her weapon, crafted the armor. And, the forest is moving. Any enemies adjacent to your space move into your space. Oh, that's great. Let's go. If no enemies moved, I would have had to repopulate all the empty enemy spaces. But I'd much rather her be the one to fight these guys now that she has armor. So, it's just for skeleton. This guy's not close enough. All right, let's see how this goes. Maybe we'll get brutal. Dice. Where are you? Okay. So with her bronze buckler, she blocks 1, 2 of the damage, so 1 does still get through, and we do 1, 2, 3 damage, so easily kill the skeletons 2 life. Unfortunately, skeletons don't give you any loot, so it's not that exciting besides that. Oh, except that we get the mead. We can drink this as a bonus action to heal 2 health. We'll say that for the boss, I think. By the way, these are consumable slots. In the current version, they aren't labeled, but in the final version of the game, they said there will be 2 for mead, 2 for bombs, and 2 for reroll tokens, which again can only be used on your own dice, not the black dice. All right, blue boy, I think we want more bronze, so schlep your way on over there. That's 2 of his 3 actions. And then let's go ahead and gather for the 4th. Crit doesn't have any effect here, but we get 3 bronze with his gatherer ability. Ooh, wait a second. Ooh. Yeah, I could have made the first move end here and then used his hoarding skill to do a free cooking action, then move here for the second and still get the 3 bronze for the third, which means we get for free some carrot soup and boar feast, healing a ton with that one. Nice. All right, almost ready to go hunt some dwarves. All is quiet for now. All right, so yellow... She's probably ready to kill anybody that might come at her, right? I mean, at some point I'd like to get another defensive item. I guess she could build that now with all of the bronze and stuff. She can't have another shield, so she could do the leather helmet. Bronze helmet she doesn't need. Iron, we don't have any iron. Yeah, so I guess the leather helmet is good. Oh, but then she'd use up the only resin we have that the other guy needs. She could do a leather... Oh, that's also resin, darn it. Is there anything she can get? She could use up 2 bronzes to get the bronze helmet. I guess that works. What else do we need bronze for? We could build the thing that lets us get mead with it. But the guy's still on bronze. He can get more bronze on his turn. Yeah, okay. So she's going to build the bronze helmet. That gives her 1 defense die and then a second one if she spends a stamina. But the max you can roll is what's included in the game, which is 2. So really, it's not going to matter too much. And still leaves us a pretty good amount of stuff. Okay, so that was 1 action. Should she eat? Because she is kind of hurt. I mean, now that we've got so much defense, I don't think we need to. Okay, so second action, she'll start moving. So that's 1. Oh, there's one of the places we need to go to. So let's go ahead and head over there. So skeleton here and 2 of these dudes there. So that was 1 move, 2. So she's going to fight, and then she'll have 1 action left to burn the place if she wants to. All right, this time things should be crazy easy. They're only rolling 1 black. I got 2 blues, and as long as at least 1 of them hits, I get an extra defense. So unless I roll nothing, I should be able to block their best attack. I really want to get brutal, though. Okay, so I got 3 defense, easily canceling theirs, and I did 4 damage, which is enough to kill 1 and hurt the other for 1 point of damage. All right, come on, give me that brutal. Give me that brutal. Nope. We did kill them, but we still did not get up to 5 damage. We only did 4 again. All right, so we defeated them, got some more wood and stone. Okay, now for her third action, she will burn this place. That is 1 out of 2. That also means that this cannot spawn anymore if we get one of those events that would cause enemies to spawn. All right, wow, let's go. They're all in a row. Although we are very close to the level 2 tiers with the thing in the corner. Good to go. Let's get to blue. And yeah, I think blue should probably get a little bit more bronze. Okay, that gets us 2. I think that's going to be enough for the rest of the game. And then for the second action, let's have them go back. And you know what? They might as well eat all of this because then they can use their free cooking action. So for their third action, they'll do that. So they're going to heal 4 health and 5 stamina. That's enough to max them out. And they get a reroll token. Then they're going to cook some more for free. Not much healing there, though, which is unfortunate for yellow. She needs healing. All right, and then next turn, blue can maybe get some defensive items himself and get his weapon on fire. All right, Wrath of the Elder. If you currently have any wood, yep. Okay, so place that's a gray dwarf ambushing me. Blue doesn't have the defense, but should still be able to kill him. All right, here we go. For gray dwarfs, that is 1 damage to them, so they were at max, and 2 damage back, so they got 1 life left, and that'll do it, but they took another damage. So yeah, blue's still doing awesome. By the way, their 3 stamina abilities to heal too, which is pretty dang good, but we're not going to use that yet, because we have so much food to eat anyway. All right, as for yellow, we already know where the altar is. Let's hunt for the last nest. Should we go up there just in case it's there? Sure, we should. So 1 move, and... oh, it's a treasure, and I have to go into that space, so I guess I'm going to fight those guys and get the treasure. I don't really mind that too much. All right, here we go. Fighting 2 skeletons. We are outnumbered. Oh, we didn't get any defense. Creds. If we actually do 2 damage to us, and we are 1 away from defeat. What the heck? But we do 4 damage, which is enough to kill both of them. But yeah, that was a terrible, terrible roll. I need to head back to base. Let's see what the free thing is. It's a bronze that we probably don't need, and a coin, which is still 1 shy of actually getting us buying a special artifact. All right, so that was 1 action. Do I want to run back to base? Sure, let's actually do this. Let's go 2, and then 3, I'm going to have her build the bed. Definitely should have done this earlier. That's 1 pelt and 1 wood. And now each time we end our turn in the house, we'll heal 1, so she gets to do that immediately. And with that, that's our last tier 1 edible mushrooms. If outside, nope. So we could have gotten some mushrooms and maybe gotten attacked, but none of that is happening. All right, now blue wants to level up their defense as well. The bronze plate tunic. Or no, we don't have any metal. Yeah, all of these are out of our reach, so it's really just this stuff. Now, the bronze plate tunic would require spending stamina, but we don't have enough resin for the rest. All right, I'm going to have them make the wood shield for 1. That's 2 wood. The bronze tunic for another. So now, like when they want to use 2 blue dice, they can. They just need to spend the stamina. I'm going to have them cook again if you can throw away stuff to make more room. Okay, that's a little bit better. Then for their third action, let's get the one that lets us make potions, right? Then we can bring some into the boss fight. So now as an action, I think without any other cost, I can just make mead and, get up to 2 of them on each character's board. Oh, and blue does heal 1 from the bed. And the forest is moving. Okay, all enemies adjacent attack, which means this skeleton is coming in, and I guess I'll have blue fight them now because yellow could still die if they roll badly. And blue might as well spend a stamina to get full defense. Here we go. So I got 1 defense. So I did take 1 damage and definitely killed them for 2 damage. Now, what's yellow going to do? I think we're going to eat first. So we're getting 4 healing, 5 stamina, which is way too much, and 1 reroll. And yeah, that's nearly full up on everything. That's awesome. Second action, let's go hunting for the last nest. So that was 1. Oh, there it is. 2. This is also where the merchant is, although we don't need to mess with them because we don't have enough money yet. And then for her third action, I guess she'll just go ahead and go in. Should be an easy time against these weaklings. So that would be 1 damage, but we block it all. We do 3 damage with our bonuses. And second, 3, there we go, 3, 4, 5, boom. We finally get brutal, which means each of our critical hits on our attacks will also give us back 1 stamina, which will let us double our hits. Oh, it's the double result of a combat die, so I can do 4 damage with a single critical. So that seems like a pretty nice combo. I like all that. Now, importantly, I need to wait until I spend another action to kill that, and then we need to go over there and spend an action to actually fight the boss, and that'll trigger the end of the game. There's an easier scenario. Obviously, things are going to be a little bit faster, so we'll do that in a second. But first, what is yellow's event? Snaring Roots. Keep this card in front of you until the start of your next turn. No event card is drawn until then. While this card is active, here is ending their turn in the Black Forest, lose 1. So actually, we're just going to, this would matter more in a higher player count game. On Blue's turn, they're not going to go to the forest, I don't think, anyway. But if they did, it would suck. And Blue's turn is going to be very basic. They're going to brew 2 potions, make them both healing. And for the third action, they'll spend the last resin to light their axe on fire. And they'll use their free cooking. Ooh, that's a ton of healing. Way too much. And a ton of stamina. And yeah, really ton because we're both pretty much full. They get 1 from the bed. Okay, troll. Oh, you're attacked by a troll. Move the troll to your space if it's not yet on a tile. So these are sort of like mini bosses. There's 1 per biome per type of tile. So he's rolling 3. If he rolls an exclamation point, he ignores all our defense. If we defeat him, we get 2 coins. We'd actually have enough to go to the merchant. And a bronze. Cool. I do wish blue had not been the one to draw him. And yeah, yellow is more than 2 spaces away, so she can't spend a stamina to come and help. All right, I will go ahead and use a stamina to roll both blue dice and just hope he doesn't get his ignore armor. Maybe that's a waste. Well, we'll see what happens. Nope, he did ignore my armor. So he does get 1 damage through, but I get 1 damage on him. So boop, 1 out of 6. Not great. All right, you know what? Oh, wait, I was supposed to roll 2 blue dice, but it didn't matter because he pierced anyway. So yeah, I'm not... Wait, did I not roll enough black dice either? Oh, they didn't come out. So there's another damage. Whoops. All right. Yes, I'm not going to spend the stamina for extra stuff. I'll just spend stamina to heal if I need to. Whoops, missed a die there. Oh, this time he didn't get armor piercing, so I block it all, and I do 1 more damage. I'm not hurting him almost at all here. Oh, wait. My weapon's on fire, so that's actually 4 damage. Makes a huge difference right there. Okay, last turn. He got 2 through, but I blocked 1, and I do 4 to him, so he's super dead. Definitely going to want to heal in a second. And I'm getting 2 coins, which yeah, I'm going to try to use in a moment, and 1 bronze. Oh, I forgot about the snaring roots. Crud. So she would have drawn the troll thing. Well, whatever. I'll just ignore it. It's kind of a minor event anyway. So it's her turn. She will burn. Should I move and try to buy the stuff? We already have pretty good items, but hey, what the heck? So I got to spend, well, I actually don't have to spend the 3 coins yet. I'm just going to draw 3 cards. I can spend 3 if I want to buy something. So yeah, I draw 3 cards. Frostner, Root Mask, and Trollhide Cape. You can move through enemy spaces. That doesn't matter as much. Root Mask will protect me from poison, which isn't really in the scenario, but this is friggin' great. In fact, I could give this to the other guy or give him my bronze helm. Yeah, that seems really good. And then Frostner, I think it's like a stun or something. I don't know, but I'm using swords, right? I'm not going to use this. I guess I could give it. Well, no, I think the root mask is the way to go. Although the boss is armor piercing. I just remembered. Yeah, I'm just going to buy the root mask though. Anyway. Oh, but I guess I have to throw away something. So yeah, I'll just give him the root mask instead of the bronze helmet and not trade with the other guy. Okay, so that was her whole turn. We're going to get ready for the final fight in a second. Blueberry bushes. If you're outside, you come across blueberry bushes. You can satisfy your hunger by taking the time to pick some. They spend 1 stamina to increase health by 3. Now she's already basically full of both, and if she goes to the house, she'll heal anyway, so I'm good. And that brings up Blue's turn. They've already got max potions. Their stuff's already on fire. They'll spend 1 to eat, which should, yeah, it's definitely going to recover everything easily and get them another reroll. So they're maxed out on that. I could spend time to build a bomb table and then do stuff with that, but I'm not going to. And I'll just go ahead and survive 1 more round because I want yellow to. Well, yellow's down 1 life and has 1 healing potion instead of 2. You know what? Whatever. Let's start the final battle. So all this stuff goes away. Nothing else matters except boss time. Now, they changed the boss fights quite a bit, even since sending me the prototypes. You'll see that there's different things on here. They added an event deck that does unique things. So I would imagine that the bosses might change the most out of anything. But we got to both start in the same one of these 6 spaces. The boss is in the middle, and their facing matters. Now, currently, the standees are facing front on both sides, so that doesn't really help. But I'm going to kind of put them facing towards me like that to make it obvious. We get bonus damage when we attack them from directly behind. They get bonus damage when they attack us in the front. This space, if you move into it, you lose the rest of your movement. That space, if you move into it, you got to spend an extra stamina. Here's the Elders board, and they got a ton of life. Now, they're going to roll 3 black dice. We'll get to how all that works. We got to get here to win. And sometimes they will draw these special, unique combat cards for the boss. I'll shuffle them just in case. That's only if they roll exclamation points on their dice. Now, importantly, they make a big deal that the Elders' attacks are all armor piercing. Here it's explained here with Vine Shot. But if we deal 4 damage to its protruding branches to take away its piercing ability, then its attacks won't be piercing anymore. Now, I'm realizing at first I thought that it said there were 4 branches. And you got to destroy them to get rid of its armor piercing, which I thought meant each of the 4 branches has 4 life, which means I would have to do 16 damage. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing ever. Why would you ever do 16 damage to the boss when you could already get them more than halfway down their life and ignore their branches? But reading it again, I think what they actually meant is that if you do 4 damage to their branches, then they don't armor pierce anymore. I really have no idea, because if it's 4 damage each for each of the 4 branches, 16 damage wasted, I would never do it. If it's only 4 damage, I would always do it. You know what? Hey, let's just make it harder for us to survive and say that it would take 16 damage, and I'm going to ignore the branches and just go for the face. All right, so let's get to it. I guess blue started the battle, so maybe yellow takes the first turn. So you got to take 2 actions on your turn, so it's a little different than the regular stuff. And you can't do the same action twice. You can attack. You can move, still up to 2 spaces. And if you have bombs, you can throw them. So basically here I'm going to move and attack or attack and move. Let's go ahead and I guess run over here first. Maybe she should attack first because he's going to turn towards us. Yeah, I'm going to attack first and then move. Oh, no, but he'll do extra damage if he's facing me. So I'm going to move first and then attack. So currently, even though she does have a billion defense, it doesn't matter. We're just rolling this, and I'll show you what the enemy's stuff means in a second. That's a good roll. So for each blank, the boss would turn 1 towards me, which means they'll be more likely to get their bonus. For each hit, their armor piercing automatically because we haven't destroyed their branches. And if they were facing me, each one would be worth 1 more. If we were playing in hard mode, each one would be worth 2 inherently, and then or it would do 2 damage inherently, and then 1 more if they were facing me. So here I'm taking 2 damage. Ouch. And I'm hitting back for 3, 4, 5. Let's spend 3 stamina, double that. 7 damage. And I did get a crit, but my stamina was already at max. I'm not sure what the order of the brutal ability is. I think I'll wait until the next time I roll a crit to double it. 7 damage as a first go. Seems pretty dang good to me. We resolve our damage. We resolve their stuff in order, but the exclamation point means we got to draw an Elder Arena card. All right, so here we go. They're a little hard to read. I printed these myself. Elder lashes out with a branch arm, dealing 1 damage per exclamation point to the active player. Huh. Well, that was a little odd, a little anticlimactic. Isn't that the 1 damage they would have done from a regular result? Well, that's fine. Cool. So I do have a healing potion, which I'll certainly need to use in a second. And she has a reroll if she rolls badly, but let's get to blue. I was hoping they would turn to face yellow, but no such luck. So they'll run over here to kind of split the difference. And then they'll attack. And they have a yellow instead of a red. All right, let's see how this goes. Oops, I lost my yellow. Oh, God, that's a lot of damage. Okay, so they're doing 3 to us. Oh, and turning once, which is good. If they had turned twice, then they would have been getting +1 on, what is it? Deal 1 damage to the active player per result, +1 if the Elder is adjacent to facing you. I think that's +1 per thing, so I think it would have been 6 damage. Is that right? Not 100% sure. Again, these are later added rules, so they aren't as clear yet. Yeah, so I did 3 with my fire, and they did 3 to my face, but I've got 2 potions. I've got healing with my stamina, so they're going to survive pretty well. I'm more worried about yellow. So getting 2 yellow, I am behind, so I'm going to deal +1. I mean, it seems maybe they only get +1 if they're facing me to the grand total if they rolled at least 1, and I only get +1. That seems to match other bonuses, because it seems crazy that I would get +1 for each die or each hit. So yeah, I'm going to say that I get a flat +1 if they're facing me, and if I'm facing their back. And first, I will have her use her 1 healing potion. I wish she had another one in retrospect. And then let's attack. Still ignoring all our beautiful defense. Maybe I should have killed the branches. Who knows? Who knows? Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Okay, let's use our reroll on that red that missed, because that's only a 1/6 chance. That's better. So I do get 2 stamina back from those. And then I think I can do this twice. Oh, wait, does that defeat me? I don't know why that's an X. All right, let's say I only did it once. So I'm doing 4 doubled, 6, 7, 8 damage. Seems like a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and then +1 from the back, right? So 9. But then he's hitting me for 3 and drawing a card. Lovely. What have we got? Wall of Trees. Keep this card in play until a new card is drawn. Until then, no player can move unless they pay stamina. Which blue will probably still want to do, I think. Make it less likely they'll get faced. Or maybe not, because they can heal with stamina. And if we're only giving him +1 total for the facing, that's not too bad. All right, so here we go, blue. Oh, that's right. They gotta Oh, wait, so can they just choose not to take a second action? Because what if I don't want to spend the stamina to move and I don't want to move at all? I'm not sure. Well, you know what? Never mind. What the hey? Let's spend 1 stamina to move, a 2nd stamina to go through that space, and join yellow, and both have the back bonus. And then here we go. Nice. All right. So, we're going to draw 2 cards. What the heck? But we're doing 2 damage plus 1 for fire plus 1 for back, which is maybe how this works. All right. So they're definitely going to die in a second. But first, blue takes the damage. Next, we're drawing 1 card at a time. Oh, invulnerable troll. Place the troll in the space in front of the elder. From next turn on, do not draw cards, but instead move the troll 1 space clockwise for each exclamation point rolled. Deal 2 damage each player in spaces the troll enters. Players ending a move on the troll space also take 2 damage. Remove the troll and discard this card when the troll is backwards started. Okay, I mean, none of that's going to matter. And I guess it said on the next turns, we still draw a card for this turn. Entangling Vines. Place a vine token on the 3 spaces in front of the elder. Entering a space with the vine token ends your movement. Okay, none of this matters because yellow just literally sitting behind him. So yellow, put him out of his misery. And Spladow. Wow. Good thing we resolve our damage first because she kills him, because otherwise she definitely would have been defeated herself. And yay, the second easiest scenario in the game. Blah, we have been victorious. All right, so let's get to my thoughts on the game so far from the little bit that I've played. And again, very much a prototype, so don't judge too harshly. Starting with the positives. I really like the exploration stuff, moving around, like trying to manage your movement, getting resources, and building stuff. All of that is pretty fun. And it becomes even more interesting when you have multiple islands. Sometimes there's even like 3 islands in the scenarios I've seen. So you need to like have the boat and really like carefully move around. And as you get to other biomes, you can get other kind of resources like silver in the mountains and let's see, yeah, that's what I thought. Iron in the swamps, but the enemies get tougher, so you kind of have like an interesting risk-reward thing. And some of the missions kind of force you to go to more dangerous places from the beginning. Like you might have your house surrounded by mountains to start, and the safer spots are behind them, so you got to kind of like take your luck and go through. So I think all this is pretty fun. Very light, quick exploration. Turns move nice and fast, but some nice elements here. Combat is also pretty good. I mean, it does depend on what you're looking for. There's a very light system, clearly. But the fact that you just roll for everybody all at once, and that was a good roll, and it's resolved immediately. And even if like you have like multiple monsters, you're just like bloop and bloop and bloop, and like that's it. That's the entire combat. So the fact that it's so quick to resolve, even though there aren't a ton of choices, sometimes you have abilities to use, or you can throw bombs or use potions, but really you're pretty much just going into battle and then just letting your equipment carry you through. But yes, combat is quick. It gets out of the way. Like if you're here for a super tactical kind of combat picture, I think even the boss fights don't provide that. But for a beer and pretzels like quick, fun dice chucking combat system, I think it works pretty well. The whole crafting thing and getting resources is also pretty cool. You saw that kind of how you level up your heroes can make crafting faster or foraging faster. And yeah, like picking how to upgrade your house and which weapons and armor to get are neat. Now, there is a caveat here. If this is it, in the 3 times I've played so far, I have kind of leveled my house up somewhat similarly. Now, of course, with later biomes having different resources, you're going to have other things available to you. Like I didn't even touch the stuff that needs iron and silver, which is the best stuff because I didn't have those resources. But yeah, I found that I've kind of built similar stuff each time. Some furniture items are very necessary for your quest, while others are not. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to vary somewhat by quest. But yeah, I am curious whether this will get a bit samey because you always have access to everything and there's no like tech tree or anything. So I found in the past with other kind of crafting systems like that, it does get a bit repetitive, but so far it's been fun because it's just cool to level things up. And the choice of spending really easy to get resources early to get stuff so you don't get your butt kicked as you go to the tougher places, or just taking your chances like I did in this game and running to the better resources is a pretty interesting one. All right, now things that are a little bit more mixed or unsure about. I'm not sure about the characters and their skills. So you have like a little pile of each of these, at least in the prototype. And currently the rules say you can either pick which one you want, which is what I did here, kind of built a beefcake fighter and built a gatherer person, or you can randomize them. I do worry that if you can pick, probably players will start to find some that they like the best, or like some that are perfect for a given scenario. So there might be a little bit of sameness there. But of course, if you do it randomly, you might get things that don't go together together very well or like really hard to level up. And the fact that the characters don't have any inherent personality to themselves, like she looks like a awesome sword fighter with a shield, but she doesn't have to be. You could give her a bow and have her chop down trees all day. So, the fact that like they don't get any unique stuff, that it's just like kind of these random little things that go on your board is 50-50 for me. It doesn't mean you're going to have like more, I guess, builds to try out and more combos to try out, but it also means that they don't really have any inherent character. If I compare it to the other company's game, Deep Rock Galactic, clearly there's like very asymmetric and cool differences between the dwarves in that one, and this is going a different direction. I'm not saying it's a bad direction, but definitely way different. Speaking of Deep Rock Galactic, I appreciate the event system. Player turns are incredibly quick. All you do is take 3 actions, which tend to be very fast, especially since combat is so quick, and then flip a card. You saw from the Elder deck, the events tend to be pretty thematic and interesting. Is the balance perfect? I don't know, but this is not the kind of game you want to worry about that kind of thing. It's, again, a lot like Deep Rock Galactic, where, like, you'll just have a monster drop on your face, or, like, you'll get a stone in your boot, or whatever. But yeah, the fact that there's a different deck with very different effects for each of the 4 bosses, that's at least what they sent me in the prototype, is pretty cool. But as for the actual boss fights and the scenarios, this is the part I'm maybe the most hesitant on at this point, because in the full rulebook they sent me, I think there's like 12 scenarios or 14 scenarios, but they get a little bit samey. I haven't played them all. This is just based on looking at them. But they seem slightly samey to me because, like, for example, the next time you fight the Elder in the woods in a scenario, it's the same kind of thing that you're trying to find the dwarf places and blow them up. Yes, now there's a river. Yes, they might give some other boosts. But yeah, it feels like the real big difference is in the 4 bosses and the different event decks and kind of like the unique things about them. And then you're just kind of getting slightly different orientations and configurations of biomes, more or fewer rivers to cross. So I think you're going to have to love the core gameplay, because like once you've played the 4 bosses, I think the scenarios are going to feel like slightly maybe rinse and repeat. Not sure yet, just a possibility. And then you saw the boss fight, like it kind of went really quickly, which is maybe good. Like it's a quick game anyway, so I don't know if I want the boss fight to be like too epic. These new cards they added, I'm not sure like how balanced they are. I'm still not sure of the clarity and sense of some of the rules. Like again, if to stop him from armor piercing, you have to do 16 damage to his branches when he's only got 4, 8, yeah, it's like 8, 17, I don't know. Like 16 damage is that much, I think. So, like, more than half his life. If you just wasted that blowing up branches so he wouldn't armor pierce you, like, why don't you just kill him? And, I don't know, the, like, whole moving around thing is maybe not as interesting as they hope it is, at least not to me yet. So, yeah, I'm not sure about this. This is, again, the latest addition to the design, so I'm sure they're still developing it. It might be way better by the time the game comes out. I think there's a good chance it will be. So, yeah, I'm a little unsure about the variety of scenarios. I'm a little unsure about crafting and how varied that'll be. I'm a little unsure about how exciting the boss fights will be. But for a very quick, very pretty, very fun, very beer and pretzels, like play with the group and have a blast kind of adventure game, I think this one is knocking it out of the park. So that is Valheim. Go check out the crowdfunding page. Not sure if it's up yet or coming soon. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. Willie MF, Steve Wren, Nick Skeen, Pedro Lucas, and Miles. Thank you all, and thanks to all our patrons and everybody for watching. We'll see you at the next stop.